Hi, this is Cathi Coridan. I'm a senior real estate specialist with Keller Williams Dallas Metro North, and I'm also a huge senior advocate across a number of places within the care industries. And in that space, I've had the real blessing and honor of being able to meet fabulous senior focused professionals whom just give their souls and hearts to the seniors that they serve, and as a result have wonderful businesses and have wonderful experiences to share. So one of my first friends in this space was Mitch Opalski, who is with Synergy Home Care. And Mitch is in the Alexandria, Virginia, Arlington, Virginia footprint, where I used to be. And I wanted him to be with us today as a guest to really share some of his experiences, insight, and wisdom with us. So welcome, Mitch. And can you do a little bit of a more deep introduction of yourself before we get into the questions?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. And Kathy, I'm one of your biggest fans, so thank you so much for having me on your program. We've been doing in-home care for 15 years. Synergy Home Care is a national franchise. So as you said, I service the area in Northern Virginia. And so we provide companionship, homemaker chores, and personal care in the home on an hourly basis using our wonderful caregivers. They're called certified nurse assistants or home health aides, different terminology, same work.
Mhm.
And we're proud of our reputation here and our customer service standards, which really set us apart. So I'm ready to talk to you about some
Okay.
interesting topics this morning.
Okay, what is the most important lesson that you've learned in the years that you've been working with seniors, their adult children, and the other people that care for them?
That's a really good question. I would say for me, an important lesson learned is the concept of resistance to care, or another way of putting it would be being in denial, of the need for help. I mean, a typical example would be a senior that insists on staying in her home and aging in place, which is very, very common, but as seeing some decline physically and maybe even mentally, with memory impairment or cognition, and they need help, but they refuse to let somebody help them. They want their independence. So these situations, unfortunately, only get worse, not better. So we have developed techniques over the years to help that senior dip their toe in the water for accepting help. And then you also mentioned adult children, and they could be in denial too, particularly if they are the primary caregiver for their parent. No, they have this syndrome, nobody can take care of my mom as well as me. So what happens in that situation is they burn out because they want to do all the care themselves. They're juggling their family life, they're helping their kids who might have moved back in. You've seen it, Kathy.
I have.
And so sometimes we have to go through these life lessons with the adult child and try to remind them, you want to be there as the daughter for your mom or
Mhm.
father, not the caregiver 100% of the time. And that's where we can come in and help. So.
Right. Right. I think what they don't understand, it's not an all or nothing. It like you
No,
said, dip their toe or do things gradually and just give some support that gives other people a little bit of breathing room and a lot less stress.
yeah, respite care is a typical term used there, give them a break. But we try to say is we're coming in as part of the care team. We're not taking over
Mhm.
for anybody, and we're not going to come in and control the senior's life. We're there to do just pick up the pieces that are falling through the cracks.
Right. Okay. What are some of the go-to best resources that you have found in working with seniors and their families and everybody else that's involved? That's crazy realtors that get involved in it too. What are the resources that you have that you'd recommend?
Yeah, I'm glad you're covering that. So unfortunately, this is no news to anybody. Our healthcare system is very fragmented. And it's plagued by the silo effect, which makes navigating it very difficult for all of us. So thank God for the internet. You can do a lot of searching. So my point is that there isn't one go-to source, but the ones I would put at the top of the list is the local triple A. It's the as the term used for Area
It
Agency on Aging.
Right,
These
not the American Auto
organizations,
Association anymore. It
no, not
changes.
that one.
Yeah.
Um, so they exist solely for aging in place issues and taking care of seniors in the community. They're usually a branch of the local county government, but
Mhm.
they could be state affiliated. So they usually have a lot of resources. Here in Northern Virginia, we have some of the best senior programs in the nation. And other people are calling every day saying, "How do you do this so well?" So it's a great place to age in place despite the cost of living. The next one I would mention would be AARP.
Yes.
Over the years, they have really focused on family caregiving, and there's a ton of resources there, from worksheets and checklists to recommendations. And so go there. And then when it comes time for the rubber to hit the road and you need to actually implement the care and it's overwhelming, you don't know when to take the first step, you need more than a home care agency, you could turn to an aging life care professional. We used to call them geriatric care managers. And these are folks that really can come in, do a full assessment of the person's life, look down the road, and put a step-by-step plan in place with the family to make sure it all comes together and they can remain safely at home and age in place there.
Right, until they can't, and then when they can't, they already know what the options are, and that is so important, knowing what you need to know before you need to know it. Some
Yeah,
of the
that's
hardest work that I've done with seniors, moving them into assisted living or even into memory care, has been fell in the home, was there for 2 days, can't go back there. And
yeah,
so then what do you have to do? And making those decisions in a point of crisis is costly in terms of time, money, and stress, and the stress becomes obnoxious. So thank you for that. Those are really good suggestions, and it's been wonderful just to spend time with you. We used to be with around each other all the time, and now it's a long distance, but it's great to see you. And I'm really appreciative of having you as a resource in my life, even though we're distant. And the the Zoom gift of COVID, I think, is something that will benefit us all for years to come. So take real good care of yourself. Thank you so much, and take care, everybody else. See you next week.